Hey there, friends. This is the Majestic Land, and I'm going to be living in a van. Uh, it's actually a pretty cool van. I like this van. I hope you like this van too. But let's go ahead and get started. I just had to get back in. I was loading in my stuff. So what we've got is I've got to get this down to. I'm just trying to open up. All right, so I got $14. That's enough to lease land for a month. What land are we leasing, you might ask? You like my Volkswagen? Wow, that's pretty sweet. But anyways, um, I have this crappy little trailer. I got a scythe and a shovel. We're gonna be on extreme, so that means I cannot, I don't have money to buy anything. I can lease a piece of property. That's why I got $14. So if we look at the map, what property are we gonna lease? Well, it's got to be on a road because I can't travel across other people's lands. So it has to be like this one or this one or this one, something where I can, it's going to be this one. So let's go ahead. We're going to lease it. I hope having a little bit of an issue. I hope that the game didn't just crash. I've never used this map. Huh. I'm having some issues. We're going to probably have to reload this game. I'm just waiting to see. So my apologies, you guys. I'm trying to save this because I don't want to go through but my screen is black. So I'm having to watch this through the video. All right. I'm really hoping that I can just simply um, save it and then quit the game and have it. I can save it. My screen being black. I can't see this game any way possible on my monitor. Um, yeah. So I am hopeful. All right, now I can see. So everything's, at least to this point, I can see again. I don't know what caused this issue. I just tried to lease a piece of property. Good Lord. Oh, gosh. All right. Let's see what we can, let's see if we can actually get back into the majestic land. And it's doing this again. All right, I gotta reboot this. Please be patient with me. Let's close that window. Finally, finally closed out. Now I'm gonna have to reload.
But that wasn't the worst part. Scrolling through the email thread, I saw this from the director dated last Friday. Make sure he gets this before Monday. We're counting on him to update. Graham, you know what? Your patents belong to us now. You're buyers. CEO announced to the entire office. I walked out quiet. 24 hours later, their 350 milliliter buyer called the board. The patent holder just terminated our license. We're withdrawing our offer. CEO stared at her phone, face going white. I spent 11 years building the cardiac monitoring software in the Norman video, man. Not a team effort. Not a department initiative. Me, in a lab that smelled like old coffee, nights and weekends while everyone else went home. The algorithm I wrote could predict a cardiac event 6 hours before it happened. Hospitals across the country were using it. Lives were being saved by something that started as scribbles in my notebook. Before I ever signed my employment contract, I did something most engineers never think to do. I kept the core patents, not the company. They licensed the technology for me. Every year they paid a licensing fee. And buried in section 12 of that agreement is a clause nobody at the executive level had ever bothered to read. If the company violated the terms or terminated me without cause, I could pull the license with 24 hours notice. I never expected to use it. I just wanted to protect my work. 12 years of nights and weekends deserved at least that much. The new CEO showed up 8 months ago, brought in by the investment group that owned us, tasked with making the company acquisition ready. She had the kind of confidence that comes from never having built anything herself. First week, she sat in on one of my team reviews, told me I needed to think less like an engineer and more like a business owner. I smiled and said nothing. Over the next few months, she systematically rewrote the history of the prompt. My name disappeared from internal documentation. The algorithm got rebranded as proprietary company technology in the investor materials. My server access was quietly downgraded. I walk past conference rooms and see junior marketing staff presenting my work to outside consultants, getting details wrong, nobody correcting them. I kept documenting everything, every meeting, every email, every access change. And her nephew came to me with the tablet, cheerful as ever, asking if he could do a find and replace on the patent documentation. Swap out my name with the company name. Keep things uniform for the buyer's due diligence. Your patents belong to us now. You're fired. He had no idea what he was handing me. I asked him to email me the presentation. He sent it within the hour. I forwarded it to my attorney that afternoon with 3 words. Document this breach. She called me in a week later and laid it out plainly. Sign a separation agreement, release your IP claims, take 6 months severance and go quietly. She smiled when she said it, like it was already done. I told her I'd think about it. That night I called my attorney and told her to prepare the termination notice. Due date, the CEO significant. He saw me first, came over, shook my hand, told me in briefly, ready to make history, he said. I told him to me. He had no idea what he was handing me. I asked him to email me the presentation. He sent it within the hour. I forwarded it to my attorney that afternoon with 3 words. Document this breach. She called me in a week later and laid it out plainly. Sign a separation agreement, release your IP claims, take 6 months severance and go quietly. She smiled when she said it, like it was already done. I told her I'd think about it. That night I called my attorney and told her to prepare the termination notice. 2 days before the acquisition closed, she sent it directly to the buyer's legal team as part of standard due diligence disclosure, not to the company, to the buyer. Material breach of contract. Patent license terminated in 24 hours. The general counsel called me before 8 the next morning, voice tight, trying not to sound panicked. He said it was a misunderstanding, said they could reclassify my termination as a layoff, increase the severance, work something out. I told him he had 19 hours left and hung up. She called 16 times that day. I let everyone go to voicemail. At 3:17 p.m., the license expired. The buyer's lead counsel walked into the boardroom and put one piece of paper on the table. No slides. He told the board they were suspending the acquisition immediately. The patent holder had terminated the license due to material material breach. Every device the company was selling was now patent infringement. She slammed her hand on the table and called me bluff. Slid the termination notice across to her and told her it wasn't. The board removed her before the meeting ended. The buyer officially withdrew their offer by end of day. She'd spent 8 months dismantling something she never understood, and it collapsed in about 40 minutes. The board called me the next morning, offered me my rollback, new title, significant equity. I said I wasn't interested in coming back. I wanted a full asset transfer. All the IP, all development history transferred to my holding company. We part ways clean. They agreed 3 days later. They had no choice. Without the license, they had no product. I went back once to collect some personal things. She was there, packing her office under security supervision. She saw me through the glass and said something. I didn't stop to find out what. I walked out, got in my car, and texted my old engineering team one message. Ready when you are. 11 years of work. She thought she could erase it, find and replace. She forgot that some things can't be rebranded. He had no idea what he was hired off as significant. So where's your tie? The CEO's son sneered on signing day, clutching a hand. You're fired! Moments later, the 2.8p investor hugged me in the lobby. Ready to make history? Yes, I had to break the news. He just fired me. Deal's off. The investor turned to them, expression darkening. 22 years at that company. Started as a junior analyst, worked every department that mattered, and by my mid-40s, I was the person they called when something was broken. Not the guy giving speeches at town halls, the guy who fixed things quietly. 3 years ago, they gave me a merger, $2.8 million. The kind of deal that either saves a company or finishes it, and at that point, we needed saving badly. Revenue sliding 4 straight years, 2 board members quietly gone, maybe 18 months before everything became public. The investor was serious money, the kind of man who could smell desperation across a conference table and still do business with you if he respected who was sitting there. I spent 6 months just building that, not selling him a deal, becoming someone he trusted. That's the only way these things close. 32 months in, we're 72 hours from signatures. That's when the CEO's son showed up months earlier. Fresh MBA, expensive suit, the kind of confidence that only exists in people who've never been genuinely wrong about anything. His mother gave him a director title and a seat in meetings he had no business attending. Most of us ignored him. Signing day was a Tuesday. I came in wearing what I always wore: dress shirt, lasered slacks. 100 investor meetings in that same combination. He stepped in front of me in the hallway, handbook actually in his hand, like he'd been waiting for this. Where's your tie? Not even a question the way he said it. I told him we were 40 minutes from the biggest signing in company history, and I wasn't doing this right now. He cited the employee handbook. I cited 22 years of context. He said the rules apply to everyone, then said you're fired, and actually seemed to enjoy how it sounded. I looked around. The colleague I worked alongside for 11 years was standing 6 feet away. He looked at his phone. I went to my office, packed the box, took the elevator down. The investor was already in the lobby with his full team. 8 people who'd flown in from 3 cities. His lead counsel, 2 analysts, his head of integration, all standing in that specific way people stand when they think they're about to do something sick. Where's your tie? The CEO's son sneered on signing day, clutching the hand. He saw me first, came over, shook my hand, pulled me in briefly, ready to make history, he said. I told him there had been a change. His expression didn't shift dramatically. He just went still, the way controlled people go still when they're deciding something. Then he turned toward the CEO's son, who had followed me down and was standing in a reception like he expected applause. Deals off, flat, fine. The CEO made it down 4 minutes later. She apologized. She used the word misunderstanding 3 times in 2 minutes. The investor listened and said, if this is how you treat the person who built this deal, I have serious concerns about how you treat our people after close. Then he left. I drove home. It was 10:40 on a Tuesday morning. I couldn't remember the last time I'd been home before 7 p.m. on a weekday. I sat on my back porch for 2 hours. Just sat.
Okay, guys, we're gonna lease this
On day 3, the investor called directly. He said he'd been thinking about
for
structure.
$14 per month. I think I have to have it for 6 months. I am not allowed to plant anything, do anything really. Um, I can harvest from this land. That's about it.
Closed on very different terms. The investor got what he'd originally wanted, and then some. I was in the room signed a different side of the table.
All right.
She didn't look at me directly, but I noticed her notice me. When the integration started, I built the leadership structure for the combined entity, selected the senior team, made the hiring decisions. The person I put in
This old Volkswagen
my
thing.
no tolerance for politics. The CEO's son reports to her now. I found that out on a Thursday. Thought about it for maybe 10 minutes. Hard to feel much about someone who stopped mattering the moment he said you're fired and thought he'd done something powerful. I wore a tie on my first day at the new home, the good one, navy silk. Took it off at lunch. Didn't need it. He saw me first, came over, shook my hand, pulled me in briefly, ready to make history, he said. I told him there had been a change. His expression.
Okay. So this van, I don't know if this van caused the game to crash. It is a third-party mod. The map is a third-party mod, so I don't know what caused my game to shut down. However, let's see if we can't make something happen. Um, I am not allowed to lease equipment. What I have is what I have. All right. I've got my property, which I'm going to set my money to 0. Okay. We have $0. I have a scythe. I have a shovel. I have a van and a tiny little trailer that only holds a couple thousand liters. So it's not gonna, I'm not gonna make much money. Hard economy. I do need to, I need to set something. Okay. I want to turn all these off. I don't want workers making, you know, decisions. Uh, so I can do contracts, but I have to have the equipment. So I'm probably not doing contracts this year, unless I can do dead wood, which maybe. But I'm not allowed to place any sort of I'm not allowed to place any hey, at least I can drive on the side of the map I prefer. I'm not allowed to place anything on property I do not own. I am not allowed to cut trees on any property I do not own. I'm stuck with this property probably for 6 months anyways. So here we are. The only thing I can place is I can probably place a tent in the margins of the field, right? So I gotta start the engine of the I didn't know there's gonna be such an ordeal, you guys. There. All right, there we go. So what we're going to be doing is I gotta just cut up enough. I want to upgrade my equipment quickly enough so that I can move along to the next phase. Let's see how much I can get out of this. Yes, I am allowed to sell equipment. I hate to tell you this, but this scythe is not worth a whole lot. So, majority of my money is going to be coming from cutting the grass with a different mower. I'm not allowed to lease equipment. I have to use the garbage equipment that I can afford, which is going to be sad. I need to move my van out of people's way. All right, let's keep going, guys. I want to get this taken care of quickly so that I am able to move on to the next thing. It's going to be a mower. Need to get a mower of some variety. Um, the sooner I can get a tractor, the better. It's going to be a while before I can get a baler. So, well, no, it isn't. I take that back. It's not going to be a terrible long time. But I don't know how much grass this is actually going to be. Yeah, really the only thing I can functionally do is cut my grass, and that's about it. And I'm okay with that for now. I don't want to do this forever, but I'll do it for a while. And there we go. Now, what I'll wind up doing too is I'm just going to get this stuff right here. And I am allowed to set up a tent in the margins, but I do not have said tent yet. So let's just kind of push this up here. All right, let's grab said shovel. See what we can do. Yoink. Don't know how. I'm just kind of trying to get a baseline for how much grass this will be. Do not know how many liters it constitutes for what I am picking up. It doesn't look like I even got 800 liters, to be honest with you guys. All right, let's see what we got here. I don't know if I missed it. I did miss a little bit. Not a lot, but a little. Bit more, picked it up. A little bit more, pick it up. Oh, let's just dump that in. How much do we have? 700 liters. All right, let's keep going, guys. I need way more. Don't have access to that land. Thank you so much. Gonna need at least probably 2,000 liters just to buy a better mower. And considering that that wasn't even 1,000, we're gonna be doing this a while. So I need better equipment. And then I'm also gonna have to figure out a way to lease more land. Um, yeah, because that's the only way. And like I said, I'm not allowed to change any crops. I'm not allowed to take anything other than grass on lease because I didn't pay to plant those crops. I shouldn't be allowed to just take them for nothing. So this is how we do. I'm only allowed to have 2 leased fields. So that's going to make it challenging in its own right. Cannot wait to get rid of this thing. I've always disliked the scythe, so not that the hand pushable mower is any better really. But hopefully it allows me to make enough money. Like I have to make like 18 or $19,000 just to be able to purchase a plot of land. And I'm kind of wondering if it would be more beneficial to me to um, harvest people's lands, you know, the small fields. Like, should I get a harvester, you guys? I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking that would be the best thing possible. Get a pea harvester, actually. Upgrade the trailer as I can. Hand load the peas as I can. This is the boring part, you guys. I get it. Um, we are we're doing our absolute best. I have to go get kids at 11 o'clock. So last day of school today, and then it is summer vacation. So we'll be doing a. I wish my kids would do a Phineas and Ferb vacation, but I have one kid that I'm already worried will do a Phineas and Ferb style summer vacation, and I guess one is enough because that kid will just do some crazy stuff. I mean, he once uh he once made my wife pea smoothie. He literally peed in a cup and said it was a smoothie when he was like 3 years old. And needless to say, that led to a conversation. Big, Big Ten now doesn't do that stuff anymore, but he does make lenses. He thinks he thinks he's a chef, and we do let him cook. With adult supervision, he gets to cook things like eggs. Uh, so we're just standing there, hovering over him, trying to teach him, being helicopter parents. But it's good because I have two teenagers that barely will pour a bowl of cereal. I have a 9 year old that will make uh, full on breakfast if we let. Fun to see some of my regulars. I haven't seen everybody in a while. So Archie, Bacon, if you guys pop in, I'd love to say hi. All right, let's get this stuff picked up. All right, looks like we got a full shovel. You guys ever use this equipment? The handheld stuff? Most full on the trailer, you guys. Look at that. We're getting a ton of grass. I don't know if I've got this thing loaded yet, but trailer's probably full. Let's find out where this can go. Whew, it's gonna be a long ways. Long time coming. I got probably 2 trips with this trailer before I can buy things I need to buy. It's heavy traffic here. Now I can purchase like this field here. I could lease it if I wanted to and all that good stuff, but I'm probably not gonna. Probably gonna lease 2 grass fields, then purchase whatever I can in order to do other stuff. I'm not allowed to put anything down on property I do not own. Good grief. How much hand push hand pushable mower? $150. I need another full load of grass, you guys. Oh my goodness. Before I can get a better mower. This is a very narrow wheelbase van. Sure what that's all about. See here. Let's be full. This is really the only way to do this if you want to actually see what you're doing. All right, you guys, look where we're at. We are broke. All right, let's go ahead, turn that off. We'll drop that down. I was really hopeful that I could get enough money put together, but looks like I got some work to do. I really thought that would be enough. Boy, was I wrong. Which is in only 1,500 liters. All right, let's just get them back to the end. See if we can't just finish off this little section here. Ugh, I do not like using this piece of equipment. One more hour till my kids are done with school for this year, and I have to put up with them 24/7. Love my kids, but they are sometimes a lot to handle. Sometimes the teenagers, the ones that are like grown adult size, are the hardest ones to deal with because those two fight with each other. And I'm an old man. I can't be dealing with all that all the time. So, what do you guys got going on today after you're done watching me? Anything exciting? I'll just have to keep my kids busy all summer. Yeah, that'll be the trick. Guys, this is grueling. I don't know if you knew that. This is it's astronomical how grueling This is for someone like me to sit here and do this. I don't have patience for this type of thing. And I'm just like, I'm freaking out, man. Need to get a baler. I think a baler would make this so much easier. And an actual mower. Even a push mower, I think, would be better than this side, because it's only moving at a clip of 3 to 4 miles an hour, and that's just not cutting it. Dad jokes. But we pushing ourselves, son. We're pushing through, guys. We're pushing through. Hoping this is the last section I have to cut with this. Hoping it fills this trailer twice. And that way it'll ensure that I have enough cash to purchase a pushable mower. And I also have to think about some place to sleep. Ultimately, I'll be able to sell this scythe and the shovel if I can get myself a baler. There are 2 baler options out there. I know which one I want. I know which one I'll probably get. One costs like $300 and one costs $500. And as you can see, it's taken me dang near over 30 minutes just to accumulate $83. But the goal will be get this done. I'm just trying to think of what I can plant in a small field that I don't have to sit there and mess with. If I can just lease it. But I'd prefer to have a tractor to do uh, planting, you know? Look at all this. The other thing I want to purchase is a tedder. I think that might help build up the income a little bit quicker. I'm sorry. You'll probably have to close your door. All right, let's get this guy going. Look at that. We are full. I should have done this big of a patch earlier. It's very laggy. And it could be the map, it could be how many mods I've got. I don't know. It could be the fact that I haven't rebooted my laptop in days. So many reasons that I could be suffering with this amount of lag. Uh, all right. I will say the wheelbase on this van is it's so tipsy topsy. It's brutal. All right, let's see what we can get. I can purchase this one. I think I'm going to. Let's let's make this easily to find color. Boy, I don't have enough money. How about now? Says I do not have enough money. That is annoying. Oh, you know what? I bet I have to be sitting at an amount of money that's over what is required for the lease for 6 months, which is $14 times six, which would be 24, $84. So I probably need another. I've got 82 left, so I'm probably going to need another trailer load. Good grief. All right, let's just do that. Oh, where's my shovel? There it is. What is more important, you guys? Lawnmower? So I'm not doing this the hard way. A tedder or a baler? I'm kind of thinking uh, the mower, then the tedder. I can pick this stuff up with a shovel. Baler would just be nice because then, my loads would be under, or I'm sorry, my loads would be at a level that I um, could actually take more bales and have more liters. Hmm. Let's see if I can purchase a new mower. It's 150. Good gosh. Hmm. Where is that stupid thing? Let's go with orange so I can see it. No. Let's just leave it alone at the original green it was. What green was it? Yeah, let's just leave it at the forest nature green. I'm going to tell you that tipping over this thing is going to get old in a hurry. My bales think I can toss in there. My kids would say this looks like a um, kidnapper van. I say it looks nothing like that. It's got too many windows. Weird. It feels like it's more stable when there's something in it. Not really. That was just something I thought, but it's really not more stable. Okay, let's get out of here. Keep going too fast and I'm going to be in trouble. I do want to get rid of my scythe, so let's go ahead and do that. I'm not using that thing anymore. My starter equipment, I can sell it, but I cannot sell it at the store. Okay, let's get this little beast out. Okay. Feel like it's going to be easier to do this. See what we can do. I'm already more comfortable doing this. Just gonna keep going down this path. See if we can't keep it somewhat straight. Doesn't look too bad. Not too shabby. One thing I'm going to do is I'm going to see if there's any mowing jobs. Yeah, I might do that. I think that might actually be more beneficial to me. So that way I can get a tedder, I can get everything I need. So a 6 month lease would be, say, August, September, October, November, December, January, February. Okay. So my current options are a 6 month lease where I could do like to January, March, April area. Which is an interesting amount of time. I'm only allowed one contract per month. I feel like with hand pushable equipment, that should be it until if I have hand pushable equipment, I'm doing one per month. So I feel like that is kind of pushing it to do more than that. So let me see what one I want to do. I'm not going to do that one because I don't own the hoe. I'm going to have to do a mowing contract. It's going to have to be that one. I'm going to finish off this little teeny tiny section here. And then we mow. Not using GPS unless I can put Isaria on the vehicle. I feel like that's the only fair way to go. Uh, I mean, this field is going to take a bit. It's not going to be super duper quick. But $1,200 is going to go a long ways. It's going to help me purchase all the things I want. It's not going to give me an auto load trailer. Wouldn't that be great? But I'll be able to purchase a tedder and a baler. And those items right there are expensive. But they will allow me to make money quicker. So if you look, price of grass is $40 per 1,000 liters. But hay is $53. So instead of making $83 um, on every thing, I'll be making an extra $13 per 1,000 liters. And it's $150 for the mower. Or I'm sorry, for the tedder. So, you know, after 5 loads, it'll be basically 10 to 12,000 liters I will have paid for that. That's huge. And I'll probably go with the cheaper option for tedders and balers. So it'll probably cost me somewhere around $350, $450, somewhere in that range. As a matter of fact, if I look, that one's 500, and that one's 200. So yeah, it's like $350. Then if I want, I can also purchase the windrower, which is another 150. I think the baler only does a pickup of like 1 meter. So let's see. 1.4 meters. So yeah, windrower might be a good option. I haven't decided yet because it might just be taking more time to uh, windrow than I'm actually saving by just baling the whole thing. The other baler, actually, we look at it, has a 2 meter baling width. So for $500, I'm doing math in my head, guys. So for $500, I could essentially get, if I bought everything like on the cheap, say I wanted to get the windrower, say I wanted to get the baler, and then say I wanted the tedder, it would cost um 350, $500. Say I just got the baler and didn't get the tedder or the windrow. And say I just got the more expensive baler, it's $500, but it's got a wider width pickup. And I'm basically only mowing it and then baling it, not doing anything more than that. And that's something to think about. Or I could just use the other baler and save myself some money. I don't know. I've got so many thoughts on that. What do you guys think? Am I overthinking it? That's been an issue with me in the past. Guys, this is extremely boring. I get it. If we're going to be looking at tractors eventually, what can we get? If I'm looking at the smallest of tractors, the International is an option with a mower. That's the other thing. What would I buy with a mower? But that case is pretty cheap. And a sickle bar mower, I mean, it could be had for under, 10 grand with a tedder and windrow. That would open up a lot more options. Other tractors I think that are there. Wish I had the sort by cheapest, but I don't. We have both of these. Ellis Chalmers, even cheaper than the. And I know there's a John Deere that's cheaper still. Just trying to get through them all. So, oh yeah, we have the International, which we can put 3-point hitch on. Um, Problem is it's everything's too heavy for it. Sorry, guys. Just keeping an eye on the time. I'm gonna have to leave here in a minute, so I'm gonna shut this all down, and I will maybe see you guys later. But like I said, I have to go get kids, and we will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. I appreciate everything.